On the morning of July 2nd, 1937, one of the most famous women on Earth climbed into a silver aircraft, smiled for the cameras, and prepared to make history. No one watching that day imagined they were witnessing the beginning of one of the greatest mysteries of the 20th century. Because after that flight, Amelia Earhart simply vanished. No wreckage, no distress call explaining what happened, no confirmed final words. Just silence. And nearly 90 years later, people are still asking the same haunting question. What really happened to Amelia Earhart? By the 1930s, Amelia Earhart wasn't just a pilot. She was a global celebrity. At a time when many people believed aviation was too dangerous even for men, Earhart shattered expectations. She became the first woman to fly solo across the Atlantic Ocean, broke numerous speed records, wrote books, and inspired millions around the world. Human observation. It's easy to forget just how famous she was. In today's terms, she wasn't merely a pilot. She was part explorer, part celebrity, and part symbol of courage. People admired her because she seemed fearless. But those closest to her knew something else. Amelia wasn't reckless. She understood the risks better than anyone. And in 1937, she set her sights on her biggest challenge yet: flying around the world. Not over the poles, but near the equator, the longest route possible, nearly 29,000 miles. It would be an extraordinary achievement, requiring months of preparation and incredible precision. To accomplish the journey, she flew a specially modified Lockheed Electra 10E, a sleek twin-engine aircraft equipped with extra fuel tanks. Joining her was Fred Noonan, an experienced navigator who had helped chart routes across the Pacific for Pan American Airways. Together, they formed a team that many believed was unstoppable. But from the very beginning, things didn't go smoothly. An earlier attempt had already ended badly after the aircraft was damaged during takeoff in Hawaii. Repairs were made, plans were adjusted, and in June of 1937, Amelia and Noonan started again. Over the following weeks, they successfully crossed South America, Africa, India, Southeast Asia, and Australia. Thousands of miles disappeared beneath their wings. With each successful landing, newspapers celebrated their progress. Eventually, only one difficult stretch remained: the Pacific Ocean. Their next destination was Howland Island, a tiny speck of land located roughly halfway between Hawaii and Australia. Calling it small would be an understatement. Human observation. Imagine trying to find an island barely 2 miles long in the middle of an ocean covering more than 60 million square miles. Missing it by just a few miles could mean disaster. To help guide them, the United States Coast Guard cutter Itasca waited near Howland Island, prepared to communicate with Earhart's aircraft. Everything depended on radio contact and accurate navigation. But as dawn approached on July 2nd, problems began. Radio messages between Amelia and the Itasca became increasingly confusing. The crew aboard the ship could hear her, yet Amelia seemed unable to hear them properly. Misunderstandings multiplied. Signals were missed. Frequencies didn't match. Minutes passed. Fuel slowly burned away. Then came one of the most famous transmissions in aviation history. "We must be on you, but cannot see you." The message sent chills through the crew aboard the Itasca. Amelia believed she was close, but neither she nor Fred Noonan could locate the island. A short while later, another message arrived. "We are running north and south." And then, nothing. No more messages. No emergency call. No final explanation. Amelia Earhart and Fred Noonan had disappeared. News spread rapidly across the world. Headlines exploded. Millions of people followed every update. Even President Franklin D. Roosevelt authorized an enormous search operation. Ships and aircraft scoured more than 250,000 square miles of ocean. At the time, it became the most expensive search effort in American history. Human observation. Imagine the pressure. Entire nations were watching, hoping for a miracle. But day after day, search crews found absolutely nothing. No life raft, no bodies, no debris, nothing. It was as though the Pacific Ocean had swallowed them whole. Eventually, the official search ended, and with that, the mystery truly began. For decades, investigators, historians, and ordinary people have tried to solve what happened. One theory seems straightforward. Perhaps Amelia and Fred simply ran out of fuel. According to this explanation, navigation errors prevented them from finding Howland Island. Unable to locate land, they eventually crashed into the Pacific Ocean. Most aviation experts consider this the most likely scenario. And honestly, it makes sense. The ocean is unimaginably vast. Even today, locating a small aircraft on the seabed would be incredibly difficult. But if that's what happened, why has no wreckage ever been found? And that's where the story becomes even stranger. Because over the years, another theory emerged, one involving a remote island, mysterious bones, and clues that refused to disappear. For years, the simplest explanation seemed obvious. Amelia Earhart and Fred Noonan became lost, ran out of fuel, and crashed into the Pacific Ocean. Case closed. Except, mysteries rarely stay that simple. Because decades after the disappearance, investigators stumbled upon clues that suggested something far more intriguing. What if Amelia didn't die immediately? What if she actually survived? The theory centers on a remote coral island known today as Nikumaroro, located hundreds of miles southeast of Howland Island. At first glance, the island doesn't look like much, just a narrow strip of land surrounded by endless blue water. But supporters of the theory believe it may have become Amelia Earhart's final refuge. The idea began to gain attention because of an unusual message. In the days following the disappearance, radio operators around the world reported hearing strange transmissions. Some believed they were receiving distress calls from Earhart herself. Human observation. This is where things become fascinating. If her aircraft had sunk immediately into deep water, transmitting messages would have been impossible. For those signals to exist, at least some researchers argue, the plane may have landed somewhere temporarily. At the time, many reports were dismissed as hoaxes or misunderstandings, but not all of them. Years later, researchers discovered records showing that some signals appeared surprisingly credible. Then another strange clue emerged. In 1940, a British colonial officer on Nikumaroro reported finding human bones beneath a tree. Nearby were several curious items: a woman's shoe, a man's shoe, fragments of a box that once held a sextant, a navigational instrument, and evidence suggesting someone had lived there for a period of time. Unfortunately, the bones themselves were lost before modern DNA testing could be performed. But measurements taken by doctors at the time survived. Decades later, some researchers re-examined those records and argued that the bones could have belonged to a woman with proportions similar to Amelia Earhart. Others disagreed, saying the evidence was too weak, and so the debate continued. Then came another twist. Archaeologists investigating the island found fish bones, bird remains, and signs of campfires. Interestingly, some of the birds had been prepared in unusual ways. Human observation. Survival experts pointed out that an experienced island resident would likely have processed the animals differently. Whoever had been there may have been improvising, someone unfamiliar with living on a deserted island. Researchers also discovered fragments of glass, pieces of aluminum, and a jar resembling one used for freckle cream. That detail might sound insignificant, but Amelia Earhart was known to use a freckle cream called Dr. Barry's. Coincidence? Perhaps, or perhaps not. Still, despite numerous expeditions, no one has uncovered definitive proof. No complete aircraft, no unmistakable remains, no answer. And while the island theory gained followers, another explanation captured the public imagination. a much darker one. According to this theory, Amelia Earhart never crashed near Howland Island at all. Instead, she and Fred Noonan supposedly drifted into territory controlled by Japan. There, they were allegedly captured and imprisoned. Some versions of the story claimed they were mistaken for spies. Others suggested they died in captivity. The theory became popular after several island residents and former soldiers came forward with stories many years after World War II. Then, in 2017, a photograph caused enormous excitement. Researchers claimed the image showed Amelia Earhart and Fred Noonan alive on the Marshall Islands. News headlines exploded. Had the mystery finally been solved? Not quite, because historians quickly made an embarrassing discovery. The photograph had actually been published in a Japanese book years before Earhart disappeared. Human observation. Sometimes mysteries become so powerful that people desperately want every clue to fit. But evidence doesn't care about excitement. And with that revelation, the photograph lost much of its credibility. Still, rumors refused to die. Some even claimed Amelia returned to America under a different identity and lived in secret. These stories captured imaginations, but lacked convincing evidence. Most historians regard them as myths rather than serious possibilities. Yet the greatest irony of all may be that the truth has been sitting beneath the ocean floor this entire time. Modern technology has transformed the search. Advanced sonar systems, underwater robots, and satellite imaging have allowed explorers to investigate areas that would have been unimaginable in 1937. Several expeditions have searched for the missing Lockheed Electra. Each promised answers, each generated excitement, and each ended without a confirmed discovery. Human observation. It almost feels unbelievable. Humanity has walked on the moon, sent spacecraft beyond the solar system, and photographed distant galaxies. Yet we still don't know exactly what happened to two people who disappeared aboard a single airplane. Perhaps that's why the mystery continues to captivate us. Amelia Earhart represented something larger than herself. She represented courage, curiosity, the desire to push beyond known boundaries. And maybe that's why people struggle to accept that such an extraordinary life could end with something as ordinary and tragic as getting lost. Most experts today believe the simplest explanation remains the strongest. Amelia Earhart and Fred Noonan likely missed tiny Howland Island, exhausted their fuel supply, and crashed somewhere into the vast Pacific Ocean. The wreckage may still rest thousands of feet below the surface, hidden beneath darkness and layers of sediment, waiting. But until undeniable evidence is found, uncertainty remains, and mysteries thrive in uncertainty. Nearly 90 years have passed since that final transmission. Entire generations have come and gone. Technology has changed. Empires have risen and fallen. Yet one question survives. What were Amelia Earhart's last moments like? Did she know hope was fading? Did she believe rescue was still possible? Did she and Fred catch one final glimpse of land? Or did the Pacific simply close around them, taking the answer forever? Perhaps one day, a robotic submarine will discover the missing aircraft and bring the mystery to an end. Or perhaps the ocean, keeper of countless secrets, will guard this one forever. And maybe that's why Amelia Earhart's disappearance still fascinates us. Not because we love mysteries, but because deep down, we believe every story deserves an ending, and hers remains unwritten.